Hello, my name is Ray Salazar, and this is Morning Reel, a film review podcast of 3 to 4 to 100 minutes or so, however long it takes for me to review a film. November's here, Thanksgiving season. I don't know what I'm going to review this month, but for sure, I got to get at my requests. Definitely going to do some. Either way, life's a bitch, right? We get through it. Sometimes people that we're next to in our work life aren't the people that you would never want to be next to. Somehow, somewhere along the way, as times change, people change, you come accustomed to things and people, and boom, who was once so annoying is now your best friend, but he's still annoying, but he's your best friend. This film that I'm reviewing today is called Clerks, produced, well, co produced, written, and directed by Kevin Smith, who I like his work dearly. He's not one of my favorite filmmakers, but I could say he's one of my favorite writers, favorite screenwriters. He knows how to create very unique characters, saying all kinds of unique stuff. I love that about him. Anyways, this film came out in 1994. It stars Brian O'Halloran, Jeff Anderson, Marilyn Gigliotti, Jason Mewes, Lisa Spooner, and the cinematography is by David Klein, edited by Scott Mosier and Kevin Smith, distributed by Miramax Films. Ooh. You know what's funny? This film came out in October, October 19th to be exact. What a film to put out during Halloween season, right? Either way, this film is about two clerks. You know, their life's like whatever, but one embraces the whateverness, one just hates where he's at but doesn't do anything about it. And it's a slice of life. This film is very Godard, Jean-Luc Godard, and I've seen this film easily more than 6 times. I think I've seen it more than 6 times in my lifetime so far, not counting the two that I just did. This film is fresh every time I see it. I love the topics of discussion, how they bring or how Kevin Smith brings. Okay, we're watching this film. This came out in 1994, right? By this time, the people who are working this film are their on their and they are in their early 20s. So when they were a kid, all the stuff that they saw and like been all fanatic about was like really Star Wars, comic books, stuff in that nature. So it makes perfect sense as to all these Star Wars references in this film, especially the scene where they talk about how the the unfinished Death Star in Return of the Jedi. I guess Randall felt kind of bad at the fact that they felt bad for the people who were building that Death Star, but some guy who's an independent contractor basically told a quick story about how he was hired to do a roofing job for this local gangster, but who's like really well known in the crime life or whatnot. And he didn't take the job because he knew the risk involved doing a certain job like that. Because let's just say he fucked up on his roofing job, he might get clipped for it. Or in the case of the story, the place got shut up and got shot up, including the person who was working that roofing job. So imagine that. So they talk about all kinds of stuff, and it's funny because it all relates to life, the working class life. And this is not like a communist film or like a working class film, but I guess it is in a sense because they're showing you local New Jersey life from young. Well, the range of people is amazing. You got little kids in the scene, up to like an old Jewish guy who dies in the toilet with rigor mortis, and that scene's pretty crazy if you haven't seen this film. I'm not gonna really spoil this film. All I could really say is that I love the dialogue, very original. I love the characters, how they bring that dialogue to life, how they bring themselves to life. Jay and Silent Bob, they are great. As soon as they hit the frame, we know what to kind of expect, and we never get tired of it. Now, this film came in '94. Not a lot of people were too crazy about this film when it came out. Certain people did like it. Certain people loved it. Now, I look at this film. I see this film very influential because its use of dialogue and how it portrays the life that these characters are in, which is, working at a convenience store slash video rental store, and they don't do a great job at it. They don't really care about it, and they feel stuck at it. But you know, what I love about the film is the fact that people can try to push you to do certain things, but in the end, you get pushed to a point where you start taking charge of your responsibilities or what you want to do in life. And that's why I love Randall too, because he's the only guy who's really gonna give it to him. Like, even if he has to give it to him personally and cold and vicious, it's all in friendship. And that's what's cool about this film is that it's about life and it's about the people that you are amongst with. They're practically inseparable in a sense, whether one hates it worse than the other, but they got each other's backs, man. And if this film taught me anything or it can teach us something, is that life is better when you got somebody with you, whether it be a girlfriend or a best friend. Now, honestly, I would give this film 3.5 stars because, as far as like a con, if there's any kind of con, it's a talking film, not a lot of action. There is action, but I feel like the plot could have been just, I don't know, a little bit more strength in the plot itself. The way the characters, you know, carried these scenes as the day goes by and how it connects with like the main plot of the film, which is Dante, you know, basically trying to break up with his girlfriend and, get with this other girl who apparently she is, engaged according to the paper, but for sure, she has a man of her own. So what the heck, man? But that's life. That's young life in the 20s. Probably Jersey life. Who knows? I don't know. DJ Will J, you let me know. Let me know, man. But things like that, the situation like that, things happen in life that causes you to do a complete 180. And I love the cinematography. It's cool. Obviously, it's low budget, but I like the shots that Kevin used to expose certain things to the audience. I won't say what exactly, but you'll know it when you see it. And you know what's cool about this film too is the fact that every time you watch it, I don't know, you just learn something new, or you see something new, or you see the film somewhat in a different way than you see before. Because I'm 32, and when I look at this film, I see these guys just they've been doing this for a long freaking time, and I think I know how it feels when like you know when your life's a little repetitive. But even in that repetitive type of lifestyle or whatnot, a lot of crazy things happen within the day, you know, and that's the beauty about life. You don't know what to expect day after day. Kevin Smith did all that, observed all that, and exercised that theory of notion in this film called Clerks, which I give 3.5 tokes. People, stay tuned for Clerks 2, which should be right after this episode, but all of them would be available as soon as this one's out. So if you've loved Clerks and you like Clerks 2, or seen it, check out that one. My name is Ray Salazar. Follow me Morning Shot Films, IG and YouTube. Rate and review this podcast. It's on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, all that stuff. YouTube. On to Clerks 2. Snoogie.